Alrighty, folks, today we are going to be talking about metric conversion. So, you see that in this image here, we've got a staircase, and the reason that we have that is because we are going to use a staircase to help us convert within the metric system. All right. First things first, go ahead, and if you have not yet, go ahead and take quick quiz 1.6 for attendance. I've got it highlighted right here where it is in the folder. So go ahead and pause the video, take the quick quiz, and then come on back. All right, our learning target for today is I can convert within the metric system. We got two things on our agenda for today. Number one, we are going to be taking notes on metric conversion, and lucky you, we are only using handouts, so no need to set up your Cornell notes. Number two, we are going to do metric conversion practice. So we'll talk about what that looks like in just a moment. Alrighty, so first things first, I've got a little video here that I want you to watch. You can pause this video in just a moment, but this is kind of goes over the different types of measurements and base units. It is a song, and you know, this one's just a real bop, folks. So I really hope you enjoy it. So pause this video and go ahead and watch this music video. What did I tell you? That song slaps. Not all of them are going to be winners, folks, but hopefully, you know, we can have a little bit of fun with that. Alrighty. First off, our metric prefixes, we talked about these the other day when we were talking about metric measurements. So if you want to review them, this is going to be on your metric measurements handout. But just remember that a kilo means 1,000, so a kilometer would be 1,000 meters. Hecto is 100. Deca is 10. Their base units, liters, grams, and meters are 1, and then you start getting into the partial units of deci, which is 1/10 or 0.1, centi, which is 1/100th or 0.01, so a centimeter. You need 100 centimeters to make up 1 meter, and milli is 0.001 or 1/1000th of a base unit. So we are going to look at those and talk about if you have a kilometer, or if you have a kilo liter, and you want to figure out how many of another unit that is, how do you do that? So what I'm going to have you do is I want you to turn to your metric conversion handout. So you'll see a little staircase. It looks like this. So I'd like you to go ahead and open to this, and we are going to fill this out together.
All right, folks, let's learn how to use the metric conversion staircase in order to convert within the metric system. So if you're looking at your handout right now, you'll see something that looks very similar to this with some blanks to fill in. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to fill in the number of units that each of our prefixes represents, which we learned about just the other day. So let's start with kilo. A kilo is 1,000 base units. A hecto is 100 base units. Deca is 10 base units. A basic unit is 1, so we can just leave that blank. A deci is 1/10th of a base unit. A centi is 1/100th of a base unit. And a milli is 1/1000th of a base unit. All right, so what you're seeing here is that each step on this staircase represents a factor of 10. And we're going to use that to our advantage. So let's talk about how you do conversion. So in order to convert to a smaller unit, then you are going to move the decimal point to the right, or you are going to multiply. So let's talk about what that means. So let's say that I was asking you to convert from 7.5 meters to centimeters. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start on our staircase with our original unit, which is our base unit. And what is the unit that we are trying to find? Well, that is centi. So that is where we start, that's where we go. So we're gonna see how many steps we take. 1 step, 2 steps to the right. So what that means is we're going to take our decimal point and we're going to move it 2 steps to the right. So in this case, that would mean I would take 7.5 and I would go 1, 2. Now, you'll see that we have a blank here, and what that means, if there's a blank, we need to put a 0 there. So 7.5 meters would become 750 centimeters. All right, so we went from the larger unit of meters and we went to the smaller unit of centimeters. So we moved the decimal place 1, 2 to the right. The other thing we can do is if you're moving to the right, you can multiply by the number of the factor of 10 that you did. So you went 1 factor of 10, 2 factors of 10. So if you took 7.5 and multiplied it by 10 and then multiplied that by 10 again, that would be the same as multiplying it by 100, which would give us 750. So that's how you move to a smaller unit. Now, let's go the other way and go from a smaller unit up to a bigger unit. So to convert to a larger unit, you're going to move the decimal point to the left, or you're going to divide. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at an example of what that would look like. So in this case, get rid of all of this. Let's say that we were going from let's say we were going from 2 liters to milliliters. All right, our base unit is going to be, or we are starting on our base unit liters, and we are moving to, oops, I didn't mean that. Sorry folks, my bad. I meant kiloliters, kilo, my bad. We start with base, we're moving to kilo. So kilo is up here, going from a smaller unit to a larger unit. So we're gonna see how many steps we need to take. 1, 2, 3 steps to the left. So what that means is we move our decimal point 3 steps to the left. Where's the decimal point? Good question. If you don't see a decimal point, you just go ahead and put a decimal point at the very end of your number. So it would actually look like this, 2 point, and then I move that decimal point, oh, sorry folks, here we go, let's try this again, 2 point, and we're gonna move it 1, 2, 3 to the left, and our decimal point's gonna be there. In each of these gaps that we leave, we're going to put zeros, and so we now have 0.002, and our unit is kiloliters. So we moved 1, 2, 3 to the left, we move our decimal point 1, 2, 3 to the left, and that's how we convert. You could also take 2 and divide it by 10, by 10, and by 10, or that would be dividing by 1,000, and you would get the same answer. And that's how you convert using the staircase.
So this is going to be the completed version of this, so make sure that you copy down your blanks. All right, so go ahead and turn to the next page in your packet, and what you're going to see here is a worksheet, and we're going to work on a couple of these together, and then you're going to use the rest of this for practice. So let's go ahead, and we are going to start with problem A. 75 kilometers equals how many meters?
Let's go ahead and look at where we start and end on our staircase. So we start at kilo, and we end at our base unit. So we are going from left to right to a smaller unit. So let's go ahead and count how many steps that is. We go 1, 2, 3 steps. So that means we're going to take 75, put a decimal point right here where there is 1, we just don't see it, and we're going to move that decimal point 1, 2, 3 steps to the right. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to fill in all of those blanks with zeros. 1, 2, 3. And that becomes our answer in meters. So your answer becomes 75,000 meters. You could also multiply by the same number of tens. 75 times 10 times 10 times 10, which would be times 1,000, would also give you 75,000.
All right, now problem B. 268 millimeters equals how many meters?
So we go ahead and mark our starting spot, which is milli, and our ending spot, which is basic. So that means that we are going from a smaller unit to a larger unit. In this case, we are moving 1, 2, 3 steps to the left. So we go ahead and we take our original number, 268, and we put that decimal place right there at the end of the number, even though it doesn't show up normally. And we're going to move that decimal space, or put decimal 1, 2, 3 to the left, and now it lives there, and that's our final answer. So this is going to result in 0.268 meters. And that's how you convert. You could also divide by 1, 2, 3 tens, which would be dividing by 1,000. That is an option as well, however you prefer to do it.
All right, folks, it's time for you to try on your own. So let's start with this one. 11,200 liters equals how many centiliters? Go ahead and pause the video and try to solve this one for yourself, and then come on back and we'll work through it together.
Our next problem has us converting from liters to centiliters. Well, liters is a basic unit. Centi is what we are going to. So when we look at that, that means we are going from a larger unit to a smaller unit. So we are moving to the right, 1, 2 steps. So let's go ahead and take our original number, 11,200. Now remember, you're moving the decimal point to the right, not the comma. You can actually just pretend that this comma doesn't even exist. So we've got our decimal point right here, and we're moving it 1, 2 to the right, and we're going to fill in those gaps with zeros, and that's going to be our answer in centiliters. So let's go ahead and rewrite that, 11,2 with 4 zeros after centiliters, and then boom. So, oh, sorry, I forgot 1 0 in there, that's my bad, right there. So we end up with 11,200 liters equaling 1,120,000 centiliters.
Alrighty, folks. So, if you have any questions, please post them into the Schoology discussion, and I'll make sure to try to answer any questions. Maybe we need to go over, or I need to make another video and go over some more stuff. That's fine. But go ahead and just post in the Schoology discussion so that we can have a open dialogue. Alrighty, so scale of 1 to 5. How well do you understand metric conversions? Super lost, or you're ready? You could teach other people how to do this. Alrighty, folks, so we have a couple of options here for what to do. If you rated yourself as a 1 or a 2, so you feel pretty lost about this, I'm going to give you a couple of options here. First off, I've got the link in today's folder for checking in with me. You can schedule an appointment with me so that we can talk and I can kind of walk you through some different examples. So go ahead and click that check in and schedule an appointment with me today, and we will do some office hours and I can walk you through it. Or if you would like, you can go over to the folder called Tutorials and Key in Schoology, and there are a couple of video tutorials in there, including me doing some more in-depth walkthroughs on how to do some of these problems. So check that out. If you rate it as a 3 to 5, so you feel like you have some understanding of this, you just need to practice, or you feel like you got this, and you just need to check that you got this. I want you to go ahead and practice on the worksheet and check yourself on the key. In that tutorials and key folder, you will find the key to this worksheet. So a quick note about practice in this class. When I give you a worksheet, that is meant to be practice, and I will always give you the key along with the worksheet. And so part of this is that mainly what I want you to do here is I want you to have the opportunity to work through problems and be checking yourself to see if you are doing them correctly. Now, just because I give you a worksheet does not mean you do every single problem on the worksheet. My philosophy is you do as much practice as you need to in order to be successful. If you do 2 problems on that worksheet and you get them both perfect, then you probably don't need to do the entire worksheet. If you do a couple problems and you have trouble and you're going on the key, maybe you need to do more problems, and that's fine. You can always check in with me as well. Just a reminder though, the worksheet is a prep for the quick quiz and the exam. Tomorrow we will have a quick quiz on this material that will be graded and you will not get the key to. So make sure that you are good with the problems on the worksheet, and then you should be ready for the quick quiz tomorrow. Please, please, please feel free to check in with me. I would love to work with you if you need help.